So I had someone ask me the other day, what is it like building a business in a whole new country as a black man in your 20s? And the first answer that comes to mind is it's hard. It's super, super hard. When I first made the decision to move to Paris and build my startup, I thought about how fun it would be to go to the cafes, uh, be able to travel around Europe and just meet a bunch of cool people. And although some of those things are true, and I'm fortunate to do some of those things, I didn't realize the difficulties of being in a space where you don't really understand the language and you're having to navigate the business world and build business relationships with people who you don't really fully understand how they even look at you, right? And I've learned that I do have a privilege of being American, but people here in France, they only know I'm American once I open my mouth and speak, right? And they hear me talk. So every room that I walk into, I'm seen as, an African, right? And being African in Europe and France is totally different than being American, right? Because the Africans were colonized by the French, some of them, right? And so they just look at Africans different versus the Americans. I'm learning, and I've learned that Europeans, they look at Americans highly when it comes to business, when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to money. And so I'm trying my best to learn how to really leverage being American, but it's something that I still haven't fully mastered. It's been a year and a half since I've been here, and the vision I had for myself after a year and a half isn't what I'm currently experiencing today, right? I thought after my first year and a half, I would have raised millions of dollars from my startup. I would have something in the market. I would have all these customers, all these clients, but that's not how it panned out to be. Instead, I'm still understanding what's the right way to go. I'm still strategizing. I'm still building my team, and I'm still casting the vision. I've learned that when you have a team of people working with you, it's because they believe in you. And the best way to get them to work with you towards a common goal is to make that common goal super, super clear, to have the vision spelled out simply, and to get everybody on board. And it's something that I'm still doing. I thought at one point I had my vision clear, but of course, as you start to build and grow and put stuff into the market and, test ideas, get feedback, things change. When you think about the market and how that plays into business, it's important. Oh, so it's 1 a.m. now. It's 1:09 a.m. I'm in my office space, and this is just a regular day, right? I usually work super late. I'm usually here when nobody else is here, but I like it. I like the feeling of putting in the late hours. And I grew up playing basketball, right? And so Kobe Bryant was one of my favorite players ever. Rest in peace, Kobe. And that Mamba mentality of working and shooting in the gym, getting shots up when nobody else is doing it, is what sets you apart from your competition. And so these late hours, these late nights when I'm still here working, strategizing, building, connecting, I know it's these hours that are going to set me apart in the future. So I'm just putting in the reps right now, but I want to be more intentional about documenting this journey because, like I said, it's been a year and a half since I've been in Paris, France, building a business, and it's really hard. But I hope that my journey and the lessons that I learned will inspire others, because I know that the reason that I even want to move here in the first place is because Paris is such an inspirational city. This city inspires me so much. as a writer, as a creative. I think about all of the great transformative creators, writers, painters, sculptors, who have spent time in Paris and in France, and that energy is still so vibrant, and I can feel it every day, just riding my bike through the streets of Paris and, walking past the Louvre, looking at the Eiffel Tower at night and watching it sparkle. Just like those moments are really inspiring for me, and it keeps me going and lets me know that anything is possible. Because even where I am right now, it was once a dream. It was a dream for so long, maybe 5 years. I dreamed of living in Paris and doing something. I didn't even know I would be building a technology startup, but I knew that I wanted to do something and to live here and find a way. And so I'm here. And even though it's not exactly what I imagined, I know at the end of the day, God's plan is better and bigger than anything that I can imagine. And so it's just up to me to stay faithful to the journey and to keep going, to not give up when things are hard, and to stay persistent. And one thing that I've learned, and then I hear from more experienced entrepreneurs, especially tech founders, right? Because just being in this whole space of building a technology product is something that's foreign to me. But I learned that one thing that separates unsuccessful founders from successful founders is their level of determination. The founders that make it to hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, or make it to a successful exit, they're the ones that stay determined and they don't give up when things are hard. And so as I'm going through this hard period, and like I said, trying to cast a clear vision for myself and for my team, for this company, I have that North Star in mind in terms of building something that helps a lot of people and makes a lot of money, right? Because I believe that wealth and capital is influence, and with influence you can do a lot of great things and make a lot of change in the world. So that's it. Wanted to share that. If you like this message and I'm curious about my journey as I continue to build here in Paris, if you want to see some specific things about this journey, let me know, leave a comment, and thank you for watching this video if you made it this far. Peace and love.